Hello, welcome to Gurukul's CAT 100 series, a series that's designed specifically to take you from your study room to the corporate boardroom. I am Prady Sharma and this is Verbal Mastery with Prady.
Hello everyone, welcome back to day 99 of our 100 days to CAT test series. Now, today we've gotten this passage for you. If you want to take this up as a test, all you've got to do is go on to www.thegurukul.org.in and sign up for our 100 days to CAT test series. If you want to follow along with this video, then these are the first few paragraphs of your passage. Pause the video here, read these paragraphs, and then we're going to go into the next paragraphs. These are the second few paragraphs of the passage. Pause the video here, read these paragraphs, and then we're going to go into the questions. Now this is question number 1. Pause the video here, answer this question, and then we're going to go into question number 2. This question number 2, pause the video here, answer this question, and then we're going to go into question number 3. Now this question number 3, pause the video here, answer this question, and then we're going to move into the question number 4. Now this question number 4, pause the video here, answer this question, and then we're going to go into the questions and passage explanations. Paragraph says, grove snails as a whole are distributed all over Europe, but a specific variety of the snail with a distinctive white-lipped shell is found exclusively in Ireland and Pyrenees mountains that lie on the border between France and Spain. Okay, so we have grove snails all over Europe, but this white-lipped shell snails are there only in Ireland and Pyrenees, only in 2 locations. Okay, researchers sampled a total of 423 snail specimens from 36 sites distributed across Europe, with an emphasis on gathering large numbers of the white-lipped variety. When they sequenced genes from the mitochondrial DNA of each of these snails and used algorithms to analyze the genetic diversity between them, they found a distinct lineage. The snails with the white-lipped shells was indeed endemic to the 2 very specific and distinct places in question. So basically, what do I understand? Okay, these white-lipped snail or white-lipped shell snails are found in only 2 regions, and they definitely have a common lineage, they definitely have a common ancestry. Okay, explaining this is tricky. So explaining why they have a common ancestry is what's confusing. Previously, some had speculated that the strange distributions of creatures such as the white-lipped grove snails could be explained by convergent evolution. Now, what is this convergent evolution that people actually thought that we could explain this white-lipped shell snails being present in these 2 distinct locations by in which 2 populations evolved the same trait by coincidence, but the underlying genetic similarities between the 2 groups rule that out. So one reason that they thought was convergent evolution, but then again they ruled it out. Why? Because there was some genetic similarities. Okay, now if genetic similarities are there, then convergent evolution is not possible. That's what we understand. Alternately, some scientists had suggested that white-lipped variety had simply spread over the whole continent, then been wiped out everywhere besides Ireland and Pyrenees, but the researchers say that sampling and subsequent DNA analysis eliminates that possibility too. So basically what these people thought is that, okay, in all of this place there were white-lipped snails, but then they got eliminated from everywhere, leaving only these 2 places, and that is how they thought. That's an alternative explanation. But again, because of the DNA analysis, we had to eliminate this explanation as well. If the snails naturally colonized Ireland, you would expect to find some of the same genetic type in other areas of Europe also, especially Britain. We just don't find them. Davidson, the lead author, said in a press statement. So if we think that they colonized all of Europe, okay, and then they got wiped out, maybe some genetic match we'd have found in other places, especially Britain and all, but that is not happening. Such a genetic match with other snails is not there. Only these 2 places the snails have that genetic match. So this explanation is also eliminated. Moreover, if they had gradually spread across the continent, there would be some genetic variation within the white-lipped type, because evolution would introduce variety over thousands of years. It would have taken them to spread from the Pyrenees to Ireland. So what's he saying? If the thought is that these snails started at Pyrenees and they went all through to the Ireland place. Okay, over the thousands of years that it takes them to travel all the way till Ireland, some kind of a genetic variation would have come. Right, but what did we see? The genetic match is there. There's no variation. There's nothing that's changed between these 2. So obviously we should know that they didn't travel all the way by themselves till Ireland. that variation doesn't exist, at least in the gene sample. This means that rather than the organism gradually expanding its range, large populations instead were somehow moved en masse to the other location within the space of a few dozen generations, ensuring a lack of genetic variety. That means what? They didn't go all by themselves. They must have been moved from one place, the Pyrenees to the Ireland, by something else or by some other phenomena. That is why there's no genetic variety. There's a very clear pattern which is difficult to explain except by involving humans. Davidson said, humans after all colonized Ireland roughly 9,000 years ago, and the oldest fossil evidence of grove snails in Ireland dates to roughly the same era. Additionally, there's archaeological evidence of early sea trade between the ancient peoples of Spain and Ireland via the Atlantic, and even evidence that humans routinely ate these type of snails before the advent of agriculture, as their burnt shells have been found in Stone Age trash heaps. So basically what's he saying? Okay, the things that must have moved these snails would be humans. Why? Because they might have used them to use them as food before agriculture came. And what all do we understand? We also understand that this all happened 9,000 years ago when Ireland was colonized by humans, around the same time when these oldest fossils of grove snails were also found. So that adds up to the evidence of why humans moved the snails. Okay, the simplest explanation then, boats. These snails may have inadvertently traveled on the floor of the small coast-hugging skiffs these early humans used for travel, or they may have been intentionally carried to Ireland by seafarers as food source. The highways of the past were rivers and the ocean, as the river that flanks the Pyrenees was an ancient trade route to the Atlantic. What we're actually seeing might be the long-lasting legacy of snails that hitched a ride as humans traveled from the south of France to Ireland 8,000 years ago. So basically these people, the humans, must have gotten these snails as food 8,000 years ago when they were traveling by the water route from France to Ireland. That's all that we understand from this passage. Now that we've understood the passage, let's go into the questions of this passage. First question says, all of the following evidence supports the passage's explanation of sea travel or trade except. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for an option that does not support the sea travel or trade of the snails. The coincidental existence of similar traits in the white-lipped grove snails of Ireland and the Pyrenees because of convergent evolution. See, till this part I'm very happy, okay, because they could have gone through boats. But the moment he says because of convergent evolution, obviously it is not because of boats, right? So this might very well be my answer. B. The oldest fossil evidence of white-lipped grove snails in Ireland dates back to roughly 9,000 years ago, the time when humans colonized Ireland. Now obviously if they colonized the island at that time and we found the fossil at that time of these snails, then there is a good chance that it is because of the travel that the humans have done from France to Ireland, right? So this is not an evidence. Absence of genetic variation within the white-lipped grove snails of Ireland and Pyrenees whose genes were sampled. So obviously, unless they traveled very quickly within generations, they wouldn't have had the same DNA, right, when the genes were sampled. So obviously, humans must have taken them. So this is also not an exception. D. Archaeological evidence of early sea trade between ancient people of Spain and Ireland via the Atlantic Ocean. See, if I'm finding sea trade, obviously people must have taken, these snails and they must have gone, right? So obviously this also will not be my exception. So the best possible answer now becomes A. Let's go to the second question. Passage outlines several hypotheses and evidence related to white-lipped grove snails to arrive at the most convincing explanation for. So why does this passage talk about so many hypotheses? Okay, what does it want to explain us? What does it want to convince us of? Why the white-lipped variety of grove snails were wiped out everywhere except in Ireland? No, see, we are not talking about why they were wiped out everywhere. This is one of the wrong notions or wrong hypotheses that people have got, right? So this is not what we're talking about. How the white-lipped variety of grove snails independently evolved in Ireland and Pyrenees. Okay, fair enough, but my whole point is how they evolved is not the point. Okay, we are looking at why they have only been found in Ireland and Pyrenees, right? So this also seems like a wrong answer. See, why the white-lipped variety of grove snails are found only in Ireland and Pyrenees? Yes, obviously. Why are there this type of snails only in these two locations? That's what we've been trying to break our heads for the last 20 minutes, right? So this makes sense. D. When the white-lipped variety of grove snails independently, see, when did they evolve? We already know 9,000 years ago, but that's not what we are trying to convince ourselves about, right? Now, this will not be our correct answer. So the best possible answer would be C. Now let's go to the third question. Which one of the following makes the author eliminate convergent evolution as a problem explanation for white-lipped grove snails are found in Ireland and the Pyrenees? So why did the author even take away this hypothesis of convergent evolution? Because the DNA sample, right? Because there was an exact match in the DNAs that's been sampled, right? So A, the absence of genetic variation between white-lipped grove snails of Ireland and the Pyrenees. Yes, see, we didn't find any kind of a genetic variation, right? Everything was similar between the white-lipped grove snails of Ireland and of the Pyrenees, right? So definitely this seems like a good answer. Absence of genetic similarities between white-lipped grove snails of Ireland and snails of other parts of Europe and especially Britain. Now see, again, were there similarities between these snails and the other type of snails? We do not know, right? So this becomes an out of scope choice. We only know about the similarities or differences between white-lipped grove snails, right? So this is not going to be my answer. C, the coincidental evolution of similar traits in the grove snails of Ireland and Pyrenees. Again, if you are talking about why did the author eliminate convergent evolution and you're saying that the reason is convergent evolution, that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? This is in itself convergent evolution, right? So we can remove this. D, the distinct lineage of white-lipped grove snails found specifically in Ireland and the Pyrenees. Now see, there's no distinct lineage, right? There was a common lineage of what we found in Ireland and the Pyrenees. So this is an opposite answer. So this will also not be my correct answer. So the best possible answer for me becomes A. Now, the fourth question says in paragraph 4, the evidence that humans routinely ate these type of snails before the advent of agriculture can be used to conclude that. What can I understand from the point that humans ate these snails? That's what he's asking. A, white-lipped grove snails might have inadvertently traveled from Pyrenees Island to the floor of the small coast-hugging skips that early seafarers used for travel. Fair enough. Okay, I think this is okay, but the point is it traveled all the way from France to Ireland and not the other way around. So this looks like a little bit of a wrong answer, but so far this covers a lot of ideas, so I'm just gonna let this be. B, the seafarers who traveled from Pyrenees to Ireland might have carried white-lipped grove snails with them as edibles. Yes, this makes more sense than A, so now I'm convinced that this is wrong. Okay, C, rivers and oceans in the Stone Age facilitated trade in the white-lipped grove snails. Fair enough, but that does not mean that, you know, they ate all of this before the advent of agriculture, right? So I can remove this. D, 9,000 years ago during the Stone Age, humans traveled from south of France to Ireland via the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, great, but why did they eat snails? That does not come out anywhere in this option, right? So I can remove this as well. The best possible answer for me now becomes B. Now, if you watch this video till here, please do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, because that motivates us a lot to keep bringing videos like these for you every single day. I'll see you in the next video.
Hope you enjoyed learning from today's session.
This series is designed to help you with your CAT preparation and practice daily. We are with you in this journey.
To watch the next video, click here. And to watch Gurukul's CAT 100 series, study room to boardroom, the entire playlist, click here.
If you learned from today's session, like, share, and subscribe.